Usually in situations like this, I like to turn in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Romeo 63 Papa, take 1.
What we set out to do was make it as immersive and realistic as possible.
Spark!
The special effects department actually built this rig so it could spin and turn and rattle, and then Industrial Light and Magic created the media that would go around this wraparound screen, and it was completely photorealistic, and it was high enough quality that the camera could photograph it directly. And on set, we had multiple projectors that were all lined up, so the shots you see on the set is actually what you see in the film. We shook the cockpit a little bit. It was basically like going on a very custom ride at Disneyland.
Can't plot a direct course to Kessel. You have to thread through the Psychotic cluster and then pass through the Maelstrom. You might want to buckle up, babe.
Going into hyperspace was probably the coolest moment. You know you're an adult, you know it's not real, but we pressed this lever, and then the stars came, and we both just went, ah! For a second, I really believed I was going into hyperspace.
He's introduced as a man-eating beast with this massive roar. Of course, has to sound like Chewbacca, but that doesn't exist. The main recording of Chewbacca is a bear that Ben Burtt, the original sound designer, recorded many, many years ago. But because the original bear only made so many sounds, Chewbacca's vocabulary has always been a little bit limited. So we spent an afternoon recording this massive grizzly bear who was just hungry all the time, and if you would simply show him food, he got very excited, and if you didn't give him the food right away, he would let you know. So we were able to get a really quite extensive palette of new bear vocals, and we also recorded quite a few other animals. Deep guttural pieces that were used occasionally in the giant roar for Chewbacca. That were not in the exact range as Chewbacca, but with a little bit of manipulation, I was able to create a new set of Chewbacca sounds.
Hey! Okay, take it easy.
How do you translate that funny human component that Phoebe brings to the process into something that's a droid?
And the method we settled on was actually having Phoebe in a suit, but the suit kind of fits around her. And then digitally, we're going to erase the parts of her that don't belong in the final design and replace them with digital parts. But the parts you see that she can wear, for many of those shots, those are actually going to be in the film. So it's this really nice collaboration between the costumes team, who developed Phoebe's costume, and the visual effects team, who developed everything inside there, all the digital parts that go inside her and actually make her look like she actually works.
Given that her performance is very animated on its own, she brings a lot to the character. We're more just matching the motion that we see and then rendering kind of to that performance and trying to make it authentic.
And the animators, when they get the performance capture, they look at it and they might tweak it a little bit to make it maybe look a little bit more robot-like or fix a few footsteps or something, but overall, we really captured it on the set.
The Falcon in this film is brand new, which is, really cool to see.
To redesign the most iconic looking ship in the galaxy. How far do we go with it? Do we add fins on it? Do we add bigger thrusters on the back? Just a little bit of tongue-in-cheek. Maybe it's a Smokey and the Bandit. Maybe it's got flames on it. Color palette, we went through yellow, red, and eventually wound up on this blue that had almost like an automotive paint quality to it. We put some bigger fins on the back, almost like a spoiler, just to add a little bit of hot rodness.
The script describes it as a sports car in a junkyard.
There she is, my pride and joy, the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, John knows much more than me. I've written 4 of these movies, but he knows more detail.
I'm definitely the bigger Star Wars nerd, I would say. A sort of a wider frame of knowledge for the canon and the extended universe and all of that kind of thing.
He's very funny about it. He thinks it's sort of charming and pitiful that I don't know some basic facts. There's a whole group of movies I know almost nothing about, and he's seen those.
He's a purist, and more of a purist than me, because he feels a real sense of ownership over those first movies. There's a sense of working with sort of a grand scholar of Star Wars, someone who is an authority.
I'm sort of an original. You know, I'm faithful to the originals.
Bradford started in visual arts, and then he became a cinematographer. He's made it so beautiful, so aesthetically pleasing.
I've definitely become the image maker that doesn't like or allow a lot of technology on set. They get in the way of me or an operator trying to invest in moving with characters in a particular way. So what we tried to do was design sets that allowed us to light from the set, with the set. So every practical that you actually see in this film is actually lighting the subject. When the character steps away from the lighting source, yep, they're gonna walk in the shadow, and it might be a little intense for the audience for a moment, but they'll eventually step back into the light.
We need a ship.
Usually you see a bunch of lights like hanging from places. And then, you know, you look on the screen later and you're like, wow, that's what that was doing. This is the first time where I walked on and I was like, oh, this feels like life. This feels like I'm just living.
Yeah, I know we lost the reverse thrusters, thank you. Not ejecting, I can make it back to the docking bay. You know what? This conversation's over. All right.
Cadet Solo. Still can't decide if you're brave or stupid.
Well, I'd like to think I'm a little of both, sir. Moff. Sir Moff.
It's Commodore. And if you think smartass is the way to go here, you're sorely mistaken.
Commodore. Fellow Imperials, if you'll allow me. Onyx 2 was flanked by headhunters. If I'd followed Command's directive and returned to formation instead of going after him, he'd be dead now.
No place for maverick heroics in his Emperor's Navy.
I'm not trying to be a hero, Commodore. Trust me.
Well, congratulations. You're not one. This tribunal, me in particular, finds you guilty of disobeying a direct order, and you are hereby reassigned to the infantry. Report for immediate transfer to Mimban.
Well, I thought that was going to be way worse. And roughly when do you think I'll be able to fly again, Commodore?
Oh, we'll have you flying in no time.
Hey!
How'd you guys let me beat you on that one? Come on. There's no liars in this game, just players.
The seat taken?
Nobody's in the seat that I ain't taking, friend.
So this is, Sabak?
Sabak.
Sabak. Got it.
You played before?
A couple times, yeah.
Captain Lando Calrissian.
Han Solo. Looks like you're having a good day.
I'm a lucky guy.
Can I ask you a question, Captain Calrissian?
Anything, Han?
It's Han, but that's okay.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
Think. You want to make that move. You want to make that move. You made that move, okay. I guess I'll have to destroy that little guy. Somehow I never get bored with winning. No, you can't wipe them off. They're holograms. Hey, Chewie, relax. Hey, try to compose yourself. Look, all you gotta do is think a few moves ahead, anticipate your opponent. There's a lesson to be learned here. Good going on.
We need to divert auxiliary power to the rear deflector shield.
We definitely do.
Since when do you know how to fly? 190 years old? You look great.
Chewie, get in. I'll help Lando.
Yes.
I regret to inform you that Dryden Voss is dead. Murdered by the thief he hired to steal the coaxium shipment, his friend, Tobias Beckett.
Is that so? Where is the shipment now?
Gone. Beckett took it, slaughtered the others. I alone survived.
One man couldn't have done this alone.
I wasn't there. But if I had been, perhaps I could have saved him.
Bring the ship and come to me on Dathomir, and you and I will then decide what to do about the traitor Beckett and his accomplices.
I'm on my way.
Kira, you and I will be working much more closely from now on.
So you want to make a difference?
Yeah.
Your name?
Han Solo.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer.
I was kicked out of the flight academy for having a mind of my own.
Feed him to the beasts. Oh, hey! Follow me!
I heard about this big job.
All we need is a ship.
I know a guy.
Captain Lando Calrissian. I heard your ship is the fastest in the galaxy.
Punch it!
I might be the only person who knows what you really are.
What's that?
You are the good guy.
Hi, I'm Valerie. Okay, sci-fi fans, I've got some Star Wars trivia for you. Did you know that when Star Wars was originally released, less than 40 theaters agreed to book showings of the movie after its release date was moved up to before Memorial Day? At the time, 20th Century Fox was going to release an eagerly anticipated adaptation of a best-selling book called The Other Side of Midnight, which theaters were eager to show. Fox then stipulated that any theater showing The Other Side of Midnight must also show Star Wars. Needless to say, Star Wars eventually became the highest grossing movie ever made up to that time, while The Other Side of Midnight didn't even break the $25 million mark. Can you believe it? That's all for today. Subscribe and ring the notification bell to always receive the latest trailers the moment they are online. See you next time.